this before.
Hello! We've tried. Hello, welcome to the the 40k Jason show. Welcome to the 40k Jason show. Normally on a Tuesday, but now on a Thursday for today. So our special guest, Pete Dyball. Wow, you've got a new camera or something, Pete. The quality is amazing.
It's 1080p. Have you heard of this stuff?
1080p? Oh,
Yeah.
boy. Oh, boy.
Who would have thought?
Oh,
Who would
boy.
have thought you needed that many P's?
Oh, boy.
So happy. I'm so happy you can pee again. I mean, let alone 1080 times.
It was actually well, you couldn't pee. It was actually.
Yes, it was.
So joined by Mr. Pete, the Falcon,
Caca.
and also the Val. Hello, Val. How are you? How are ye? My nemesis in Warhammer Fantasy Battle 8th Edition.
Hey, yeah, we did it. We did it, everybody. We did it.
How'd the game go, guys? I didn't watch. I didn't care.
Well, we weren't like live streaming it for you or anything. So.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't follow any of the updates. I saw a picture and I was like, I'm out.
It was an invitational.
Yeah,
it's a closed door invitational. It was pretty good. Like,
the door was closed. No, no, actually, it was open. It was fully open because it was hot.
Yeah, it was very open actually. Yeah, it was interesting. I got some skinks were messing up my back lines.
As one does.
My hell cannon. It's actually tough.
Those are chameleons. You're close enough.
Chameleon skinks, yeah. Normal skink. And then, just not classist about it. That's...
And you were running your Chaos Dwarves, which are, basically full-on cheatery in my opinion.
I was running my 2015 South Coast GT Chaos Dwarves.
It was actually incredible. He went deep into the email archives and found his email to his TO from 2015. I was very impressed.
I played against a guy with Chaos Dwarves probably around 2015 with a list that was like 10 years old. And so just no longer legal, but the judge didn't know because he'd never heard of Chaos Dwarves, so he just let him run it. That was a good game.
I imagine it wasn't a good game. No,
it was not. Like, I had no idea what half his rules did, and I don't think he did either.
So to answer your question, though, Pete, I think we got 3 hours in. We got 3 hours in, about 3 turns in, realized it was 11 o'clock, screamed, and ran away because,
as one does,
Rob had to be up at 5 minutes later.
Yeah, I mean, we did pretty well. I
think so.
I was actually kind of pumped for carrying on playing, but like the bit in my heart was like, Rob, you want to wait for 1,000 hours? It was quite funny.
Remember what happened last time?
Yeah, it was rough. It was quite funny the travel back with Wallace because I was like, Wallace, we made it to the airport. We've done it. And then we landed at our first connection. I was like, Wallace, we've landed. Like, don't worry, we've done it. And he's like, okay. And then we got into England, and I was like, Wallace, we're here. Don't worry about it. We just got to get the coach. And then he was like, oh. And then get to the venue, and then empty the cases, and then get you back to your house. Like at every stage, I was just like, "We've made it!" And like when we got to the coach
that's the best way to handle it.
Yeah. I was like, "Don't worry, we've done."
Unfortunately, lying to people as the leader about how far along you are in the process at each step of the process gets you through those early steps. But as you get some diminishing returns as you get towards the back end, and they know that you're lying every time. And you don't get necessarily that boost.
Yeah, I feel like it's a bit of a lost leader eventually.
How was that? How was the transfer in Chicago? You had less than 60 minutes.
Fine, like not a drama because
casual,
just popped in, popped out. Like I think we even had time we're in Chicago. Oh, that was it. We had time for a Macca's. We went
little deep dish.
We went for a little Macca's. No, we didn't have time for a whole pizza rooney. But we got a little Macca's breakfast, so that was fun. I wonder if there's a worse place to try to eat well than an airport. I don't think so.
I'm going to go with the Canadian National Exhibition.
Yeah, pretty rough.
That was pretty rough.
I mean, if you like your deep fried butter, then you're in.
We had deep fried cheese curds, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, we did. It's just chips and gravy.
Just chips and gravy. I actually took JVP to the CNE yesterday and tried to sneakily go for a double dose. But the gravy wasn't to temp yet, and I got to tip my hat to the deep fried cheese curds stand. They didn't want to disobey the health and safety rules, and they would not sell me the not yet to temp deep fried cheese curd gravy. So
was it the
kudos,
same
guys.
two guys?
No, I think it was a different guy.
Okay.
Because I remember being like, that's all right. Thanks, dude. And then
Yeah, just a guy with a moral compass trying to keep
and then
you
that guy
alive.
looked at me and was like, I don't care about you. And then I was like, okay.
Slayer85 in the chat has asked, I'm curious, what is this stream for? It's an amazing question. And
Wow.
2 years, two
Just
and a half
catching
years
up.
in, 2.5 years into this, we're also not sure.
We don't know.
To introduce the crew, Val is the powerhouse behind the live streaming of all of the Frontline Gaming Network shows, and
That's kind of
Pete is the powerhouse behind all of the 40k stats in the world. I think that's still close to accurate, ish. And I'm here. So together we form a triumvirate of people who are somehow very close to 40k, and yet
Don't give a shit about it.
no longer care.
don't even remotely care.
Don't even remotely care.
Okay,
been a while.
Well, maybe that'll change. Should we talk about the
It's
reveals?
been a while. Sorry.
Since I've been. Do you want to talk about the reveals from last night?
I mean,
Yeah, let's talk.
why
about
not?
those. Why not?
Why not? Squats. Okay, all right.
Talking about them for like 3 years now. Finally got to see the full release.
Let me get them open.
They're busted as fuck.
Not as fast as
in
Dicky
advance,
was last
folks.
night. He did really well. Oh my god. Okay, I've opened every tab apart from
That was
squats,
me.
apparently. Oh, was it
I was
you?
running the show. I was running the show.
Incredibly fast. Really well done. Impressed.
I
Just
used
the
the
no
scroll
sarcasm.
skill.
Okay.
Most of the time, I was actually scrolling right past everything I was looking for, though. So
Yeah,
I
there we
took
go.
Victory.
There we go. Pete has got. Wait, so apparently Slayer in the chat. Was like, "What is this for?" And then he got an ad, and he didn't hear the explanation. Oh, that's perfect. Welcome to the show. That's it. Okay.
Exactly what
Squattaroonies. Like, what do you all think about the Squattaroonies?
I love them. They're my babies. I've said it before because I've known for a while. Like they're mine. No one else is allowed to have them.
You're gonna do it. This is gonna be your competing faction.
Oh, and people are going to give them to me. I'm going to pull every string that I still have and be like, give me your squats. I need them.
Oh, early access squats. What you're aiming for?
Oh, I early access, late access,
Medium
access. I'll take whatever I can get.
Okay. The buggy looks cool. It looks like the thing from Predator a little bit. But I
The
guess,
Hecaton Siege Fortress, the new land train.
yeah, is that what this is? The Hecaton Land Fortress.
It's literally called a hecaton? No.
Yeah, a hecaton. A hecaton
That is the
of weight.
stupid word Pete has been using for years when mispronouncing the orc buggies. He has been calling them hecatuk
He has.
ruckfragas
That is
for
correct.
years.
Yeah.
I mean, I have, but like there is also another Hecaton in 40k.
There's
Yeah.
another There's more than one hecaton?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
dreadnought for the Minotaurs, buddy. Come on, get with the times.
I think
Jesus.
there might also be like a
Oh.
hecaton weapon as well.
Yeah,
Like, I'm pretty certain.
yeah.
So
I was thinking maybe you had a fan. Maybe you had someone.
Val, I don't make up words.
Yeah.
Never once in my life.
Hecaton. I like the dome shape of it. Like, it's pretty hot.
Yeah.
It's pretty hot. I don't know what the reception has been though, because weirdly on
Just
the
gonna
stream,
throw this out here.
People are in love, but mainly because it looks like they're busted from a rules perspective because of the Crusade game that got played where we got to see some of their 40k rules.
It looks like a garbage truck. Am I wrong?
Yeah, no, you're not wrong, but it's the most beautiful garbage truck. I would work on that garbage truck without fail.
So
I mean, it's got guns on it, so I mean, it immediately kind of cool.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I don't know if Val knows this yet. I don't know if you listened to this last night, Val, but
I was.
did you hear me describe how obviously you know the ecosystem, and I'm sure everyone in the chat knows the ecosystem, but I'll go through it very quickly anyway. How some of the most watched battle reports are the ones that come out on the weekend of the pre-order, so people can get their greasy eyes on the new early rules and understand what's going on before everyone else. And Games Workshop can obviously gazump those people by themselves putting out something even earlier, hence driving people into their paid-for subscription service even earlier. And then when they did decide to do that for the much hotly anticipated multi-decade waiting squats, they decided to do 25 power level Crusade game.
Yep, 500 points, Crusade.
I just want to point
Against
out
the worst army in the game.
I want to point out that that 40K fans are so greasy that Rob correctly pointed out that we have greasy eyes.
How's that for marketing? How's that
we
for
want
marketing? Can I get an out of 10 on that?
Oh, it's a 5 out of 7.
Oh boy, Jurassic Park 3. Let's go.
Jurassic Park 3, 5 out of 7, baby.
What do you think, Val?
I think they're trying. They're doing their best. Giving her what do you think the kids like? 25 power level, I reckon. And then they go out and they take a kick at that can. And then sometimes that can just rattles on down the road a little bit. Sometimes it doesn't budge an inch.
And somehow the 3-foot-tall dwarf people get a turn 1 charge against the guard player.
Did they?
I believe so. I'm pretty sure that legit happens in that battle report. It's let's move all my stuff as close as possible to these short men with giant thunder hammers and see what happens.
I feel like, did it go on pre-order this weekend? No.
No, it'll probably be next month. It looks like, based off their new progression, that we're going to see everything but the new Marines by next year, which is kind of what I thought was going to happen.
So new Marines have to be 10th edition at this point, right?
Yeah.
I think new Marines is just for this one, just supplements. It's just replacing the 8th edition supplements they haven't replaced yet.
Why would they do that though? That's not cool. They're going to release.
They like money, Val, and each codex supplement's $40, and they can release 5 of them all at once in the first quarter of next year and make many money, like 7 to 8 money.
Yeah,
and you're a financial person. You know how much 8 money is.
I'm going to go out and say, I haven't done this in a long time, but I'm going to say this. That is so craven and stupid that they're not going to do it. I think the next Space Marine stuff is going to be in 10th edition. I don't want to believe that they're going to drop. Even if they drop the supplements right now, a.k.a. what they did in 8th edition. No, actually, no. There was more than a year left. They did it a year and a half in.
Yeah, but I know that they tested 9th edition supplements for Imperial Fists and Iron Hands and everything else. So,
okay,
well, that's why I know you're lying.
So I need you to know that I've just clipped that. So, that's coming back. That's coming back whenever it's like.
You mean like when I said with great conviction that there is an 80% chance that the Warhammer app will be successful because it's too important to fuck up?
And then they fucked it up as badly as possible. Yeah, we remember. We were here.
Yeah, we were here.
That was the beginning. That was the beginning of my fanboyism erosion.
Oh, your enthusiasm. I don't know if it was the beginning. You went hard down that hill. You dropped leaves.
I was like Rufus the stunt bum in a shopping cart, just being pushed down the hill.
You are our constant enthusiasm, because no matter at any point you're like, come on guys, maybe there's a chance, and I appreciate that because it's valuable. It's valuable. We need that. We honestly
gotta have someone there. It's just hard to get up after taking so many hard hits.
Yeah.
In my personal life, I'm the eternal optimist, except here. When I come into this show, it's just everything is the worst and nothing matters. And Val has to be the optimist. But when Val and I talk about regular life stuff, Val's always the one that's just don't worry, it's all over anyway. So,
yeah.
I don't know about that, but
yeah, you're
probably.
We got it.
I mean, I could probably just get "fuck it, dude, let's go bowling" tattooed on my ass because I think that's my life philosophy.
Would you?
Should we all go to LVO and then just go bowling?
Oh,
sure.
Sure.
Didn't we already propose a Warhammer Fantasy tournament in a bowling alley? Wasn't that something? Or is that something that Pete has done in his life? There's a bowling alley Warhammer Fantasy thing somewhere.
I feel like that's the perfect downtime during 8th edition turns. It's just you bowl a couple of lanes while you're waiting for them to decide whether or not they're going to 6 dice while as bowling.
FTR didn't even have a chance to do it. Second of all, Bravo, it doesn't take a long time once you know what's going on. Pete could have played crack. Pete could have finished that game. You gotta get your game up.
I haven't looked at that game for 7 years, but it did slowly creak back into my mind as we were playing. I was like, oh, Okay, I remember this.
The synapses were just spreading once again like tendrils through your mind.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
pretty crazy. So, yeah. Anyway, so the Votan boys look pretty sweet, and obviously this looks like it's wave one of several releases, right? Like there'll be another release next year or the year.
I think you'll see.
Okay.
I think
Who's your winner?
this is more than I expected. I
Go
thought
up.
we would see less.
Go back up. Give me Wizard Guy.
Okay, hold on. Okay,
Wizard Guy's cool, but he won't. I don't think you'll see play.
This guy? What? You don't? What? Who started the
What's
Destiny?
Miniac Patel? Where are you going, man?
Where'd you need? Oh, Grimnir.
Yeah.
Wizard Guy. Clearly that guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
With his-
Gandalf the Tiny.
I like that he's got. He brings his stunt rock with him, like it's attached to his foot, like in a sweet little twist. They were like, we're gonna attach the rock to the mini, not the mini to the rock. It's fucking next level shit.
This is pretty awesome. Like, makes me sad that they've not tried to do proper dwarfs in Age of Sigmar, the whole edition. Like, we've done Sky Dwarfs, like hilarious Sky Dwarfs, but we
Fire
haven't done
Dwarves.
Fire Dwarfs, which no, we don't talk about them. They're just
Why?
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's the matter with the Fire Dwarves? I love them. They're cool. No,
have you ever tried to face an army of them?
Is it not fun?
It's like this. You're like, okay, where are your characters? And they just point at some stuff, and you're like, that's all of your units. And they're like, no, they're quite clearly different. Guy's got a hat. Guy's got a more beardy beard. Yeah, this guy's got more flames, and you're
This
like,
is something.
oh boy.
This is something that actually I think probably maybe you just don't know how to read little people body language like you do in other situations. Maybe you're not picking up on their clear social cues of dominance and leadership because of your sizest attitudes.
Are you telling me I'm a short king, like bigot?
Yeah.
Whoa. Your words
Explicitly
not
calling
mine,
you
pal.
over that.
Your
No,
words not
Val
mine.
took his words. That's what it is.
I respect short kings. So, I've worked with Scrivo.
It's true. You have.
I've worked with Karen many times.
Yeah, I've worked with Karen and Mom Jeans all the time. Yeah, and James, my I don't know, Meg in the chat, leader of James. James makes the objective rings. honest-wargamer.
Fantastic.
And
by the way,
oh yeah,
all of my friends, and that's plural. I think I can just do plural on that one. That were at CCBB went home and ordered Honest Wargamer clear objective markers.
oh
Yeah.
nice.
They're
And
amazing.
they're very good. So there you go. So Cash Money Hammer now completely kitted out with clear Honest Wargamer objective markers. So good work, James. Back to your story.
And now Rob can afford a green screen that covers the whole back of his area.
That's just for your camera. That's just for your camera. What was I going to say? The major problem, though, that I did not know until we got there, is that you couldn't see any of the objectives. Like, they were too clear. We did too good a job.
We did too good a job.
Too good a job. And so that was actually pretty problematic for the stream, Pete, I thought.
No, Rob, for years now you've complained about objectives that were too flashy and advertised for tournaments and we just threw you out of the game. And so it just made sense that we would pick an objective that did like the exact opposite and would cause us to not know what was happening in the game whatsoever. So yeah. I feel like that's a comeuppance.
I think we knew what was happening in the games when Dickie turned the mic on. When that happened,
yeah,
his mic was on the whole time. He just was basically talking. And,
yeah,
and
then his weird.
And then also he would have I hope he's watching. He also would stand, if this was the mic, stand like this and be like, yeah, blah blah blah. And I'd be like, you put your mouth on the mic, and then he'd be like,
he has the quiet confidence of the people who flag in attack helicopters. You know, they're like, I've done this 17 times, I don't care. Just land your stupid plane right there. Land yours there. Don't give a shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, all right, bud, just put it over there. Anyway.
Well, he's both former Canadian military and Canadian football player, so
quite confident.
He did a great job. Just make sure you know he did a good job so he doesn't murder me. I don't want him to kill me.
I mean, and like if everyone in chat knows, like you have to bring up his fucked up ears so he gets them fixed because they're too weird.
Two things I don't understand about what you were doing on the weekend. One, the fucked up ears thing.
Yeah.
Now, two,
they're fucked up.
Two, whatever you were saying, when you were making fun of Francois' name was just egregious.
Francois.
What?
Egregious pronunciation.
Francois.
Francois.
It was even worse than that. It was like Francoisi.
No, I said Francois.
Oh.
Francois Lalonde.
Although we do need to get...
He messages me every day now, and he's just like, Falcon, thank you so much for properly pronouncing my name.
Did you listen to the
French person.
Did you listen to the Canhammer podcast dedicated to his honor that he hosted? It was fantastic.
No, I didn't, because nobody listens to Canhammer.
Oh, that's true, but like they're all lovely.
They're good people. They're definitely good people.
people.
They feed me sweaty lobster and tell me entertaining stories about cheating at the WTC, so I can't complain.
Can't complain. Okay, all right. So why are we attacking all the short kings? We're not. I promise. Right? Okay.
I love short kings. This is not sarcasm. Give me your short kings.
Don't believe a word he says.
Yeah,
all of them, even the AOS ones. I'll figure it out. Well,
thanks to Groty for subscribing for 20 months. Okay, so with that said, do you want to talk about which of the other, apart from Squatteroonies, what else did you like or didn't like? Anything took you fancy?
I got something.
You said off air you were pretty sad about the Dads and Lads.
Dads and Lads, that was a bummer, but I want to talk about how, I'm going to just say this right now, how fucking lame Berserkers are. Berserkers, I'm going to say, like, the Primaris, I don't usually shit on sculpts because I think they're usually pretty cool. But the Primaris Assault Marines are more dynamic than the Khorne Berserkers.
Are they? Let me go find them. 1 second.
Like a lot of them are like an homage to the original Berserker set, right? But made to not look ridiculous.
If there was a thing that we all thought was perfect and shouldn't be changed, it's the original Berserker set.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Just the catechins get re-released and they're just more jacked.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
What, these guys? Okay, side-by-side comparison. Let's go. Not that. Okay, so these bros versus...
Specifically, whoa. Specifically the ones that are monopose. These look like multi-pose, multi-whatever. Okay, so right now I look like I'm full of shit.
Yeah, you do. But that's...
Damn it. There's a...
Let me find an example.
Hold on. I'll try and find...
Val's going to bring up the old models, and he's going to be like, see?
These are what they should be. Berserkers aren't meant to be super mutilated like Plague Marines, says Angle in the chat. I think the problem when they showcase this, the Berserkers in their like stream setup, the problem is they did it after they did Horus, and obviously the paint style for all of the heresy stuff is like very hyper realism, like it's reenactment battle stuff. And then obviously Games Workshop is not cartoon. That's not what they go for, but like super clean. It is quite cartoony, right? Like,
that's kind of it, right? Because like the whole model line is meant to be slightly cartoony, right? The variation on hand size and everything.
Yeah, because it's.
Oh, sorry. I think that was a really good insight. Also, got to revise my hot take because I'm full of shit. These guys are basically posed exactly the same as the Assault Intercessors. I guess they're not giving me good vibes. Nonetheless. What I wanted to say, to your point, which is going to come back to me, is gone.
Oh.
I will make a point about Khorne Berserkers not being mutilated or mutated like Nurgle Plague Marines. That's not true. Oftentimes, they 100% are.
I know what I was going to say. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
You were mentioning paint styles?
Yeah.
There was a third paint style and rare that I ever noticed this, but the hunter, the ogre hunter.
Yes.
Like he did not have a cartoony paint job. He had a very like I don't know, like you could see a lot of the brush strokes on him. Like it was a stylistic choice. It wasn't like it was painted badly. But like if you look at the close-ups of the head, like this guy has like a very Forge World style paint job. I felt.
Well, I actually think once they get into an IP, like if you're going to paint an Ultramarine, the next Ultramarine has to look like the last Ultramarine.
Right.
Like, and that's true also for Khorne Berserkers. But for Age of Sigmar, because new game still relatively, like there's still lots being worked out on like what, like, and I mean, this is a faction that's had 2 miniatures released. No, sorry, 3 miniatures released. This being the 3rd miniature for 7 years. So like they're still at
And
the
it's also, I think, 3 of 3 that is a hunter for some reason. I think there's what,
no,
4
we've had
different ogre hunter models?
No, 2 hunters and a tyrant. Yeah, like
Okay,
the other
that's
one
right,
was
that's
also,
right.
yeah, also a hunter. Yeah. So
But-
go on.
In a model line that has like a dozen models, there's the original hunter, the hunter that comes mounted on the tusk thing, and then 2 new ones for some reason. Who's got the hunter fetish? That's what I want to know.
Hrograth, actually fairly chosen quite a lot in lists at the moment for some because he's just good for battle tactics, basically. But yeah, give me the man-eaters back. I agree with Mum there in the chat. But yeah, like I mean, you like this? You liked it because of the paint style choice?
I found like if you scroll down a bit, there's like a detail of the face, and it just looks like a very. Oh, there you go. Up a bit. Boom. Nope. I don't know why you're missing it.
Oh, wow, I'm missing it.
Oh, sorry, the face of the dragon. There you go.
Oh, that's
Or the woman or whatever.
yeah.
But like I don't know. That looks like a very difficult series of layers and blends and stuff to me. I don't know. It looks a little bit more advanced than usual. And then the fur on the pelt over there almost looks like an airbrush fade from that picture. But I don't know.
Well, it's just not Marines, which like they're just meant to be that way, right? Like they're just Marines, you know, which is kind of sad because like, well, oh, not sad because actually once they get into the hands of like other artists, then those things kind of explode in how they look. Like they look lots better. Pete,
Yeah.
Pete, did you have a favorite from the? Yours was
Just squats. The chaos, the giant character looks like a doofus, big old doof face.
He is a big doofus.
Dumb.
That is correct.
I don't like that.
Let's look at that
Dad
demon
bod.
Prince again.
There's actually some interesting stuff here, like which I don't think anyone's necessarily cottoned onto just yet.
Go
is
ahead.
that these little red fellas that are all over the dudes do not exist in Age of Sigmar at the minute. They are a new race, if you will. So like whether or not that gets expanded out, and maybe Gargants always carry around these little red fellas, but the other kits didn't have it. So I don't know if this means that these are going to be some new Goblin Destruction style characters, if they're going to be imps, if they're
like the new Noblars.
Ooh, imps. Yeah, red Noblars would have been cooler if they were at least a different color.
Yeah, who knows? I'm not sure what they exactly are. Does it say in here? Oh, creepers. There we go. He's covered in creepers. The tiny red
little
imps.
Peter Kloss mouse. Great.
Yeah, creepers who braid the beards of giants being applied. So yeah, so it looks like we've added a new thing into the Age of Sigmar lexicon. It's quite fun, and I like that. So yeah, but yeah, apart from that, it's just a giant, which sucks.
See what you mean about painting style on the AOS stuff. So this guy is also like very, very detailed with a lot of advanced stuff. Where's Gitz on that list, by the way? You scroll down to the
the Battletone roadmap next year.
the roadmap.
Not this year. A roadmap, yeah. No, I mean the best we've ever seen so far.
I mean, we should probably show them the difference between a roadmap and the literal next exit sign. I think that would probably differentiate, or maybe give them an idea. But
have you seen? So have you heard that Magic the Gathering have announced a new edition? Not Magic the Gathering. So sorry. Not Magic the Gathering.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons have
D&D 1.
Yeah. So D&D have announced a new, and then they've not only announced it, they've said that they're going to do monthly playtesting with a monthly playtesting live blog that you can track, and there's a roadmap of every book release a year after.
And they released all the rules to the public.
And they released and they've already released all the rules to the public already. So like, just as a comparison between the two game companies, which are the top of the these are the two game companies, right? Games Workshop versus like Dungeons and Dragons, are like with Magic the Gathering kind of in a they're kind of outside,
WotC, if you will.
Well,
that's the Hasbro conglomerate, isn't it? Who owns WotC these days?
Well, Hasbro owns
NBC
them.
or Hasbro, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Hasbro
They're
owns
all-
them.
there you go.
Yeah, but I don't know who owns D&D. Who owns D&D?
WotC, same company, Wizards of the Coast.
Oh,
So it's a Russian nesting doll. Wizards of the Coast bought TSR like in the 90s probably, like when they were like fat on the first dose of magic money, and then eventually Wizards got swallowed up when I wasn't paying attention.
Talking of Russian nesting doll, Nova's this weekend.
Yes.
And are we what's going on? Is there big 40K news other than the actual releases? Is there a big tournament? Is there any Pete? Have you got your eye on any kind of like competitive hot takes? Like are the Art of War guys there? So I assume they're winning.
Some of the Art of War guys are there.
Okay.
Like really the only big news, and it's old news now, was the Anthony Birdsong event that's going to happen at the same time, where he's trying to steal people from the Nova event, right?
That is our territory for content.
Yeah,
Come on,
territory.
that's
Sure.
our territory.
But,
Do you want to introduce it?
yeah, sure. So Nova had implemented a mandatory mask and vaccination record policy way back. They announced it, and they said they would keep an eye on things and possibly change it before the event. And then they didn't. And then past the refund line, they released a statement saying we're not changing anything, which got Anthony Birdsong, who's a store owner in in Midwest, I think he's in Michigan, isn't he?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Maryland?
outside
I don't
of
know. It's with an M.
Maryland.
He runs Tables and Towers. He runs a lot.
He's very close. He's right in Nova's neighborhood. So he's right there. He's right next door.
He kind of made this very public post where he was saying that it was terrible business choice of them to release this news after the refund deadline, and he was going to sue them, and that he was going to now run his own event because they were being too drastic and fear-mongering. And so he started his own event, and he's giving away 3 fully painted Reaver Titans, and I think the top 8 all get $250 or $100 a piece. The winner gets
I don't know if this
$1,000 or something.
I don't know if this actually got followed through on, but he also because he would so it's free for everybody to enter.
And yeah, free entry for everyone.
But if you had a Nova ticket and you switched over to him, he gave you $100.
Yeah, he refunded your Nova money or half your Nova money. So it's a whole thing.
It's a 5 o'clock free crack giveaway is what this is. It's
incredible.
I don't know how you aren't over there covering it.
Well, that's what I was about to say live on air right now. Anthony Birdsong, if that is your real name, you have got hours to book me to fly over and do live coverage of your event and the Falcon.
Birdsong would probably have a jet on the tarmac to you.
I'm telling him.
No problem.
I've just
they're only at about 56, 57 people. I think he maxed out at 100, but and Nova's still at around 220. So
do you think that he took 50 people, or there are like 52 or 50 opportunists that I've nipped over?
I mean, there's a couple that are definitely people that would have gone to Nova instead. But for the most part, I think he just got 50 people that.
Who's your all gas no brakes guy? I feel like this is the opportunity. This was what we should have called into him.
Yeah, all gas no brakes should do this. What, you Channel 5 News with Andrew Callahan?
Yes, Channel 5 News. Yeah.
By the way, his latest video, is the most insane video I've ever seen, and it features a Canadian.
Oh,
it's a Canadian.
Didn't he come up? Didn't he come up for the Ottawa protests? I thought he did.
Yeah, he did. He did the trucker guys. But this was a guy who specializes. He's a sex kung fu expert.
Sex kung fu.
Sex kung fu.
Now, is that using sex as a martial art or using martial arts and sex? That seems a little bit could go either way.
Sex as a martial art, and mainly hitting your own dick a lot. And
hitting your own dick. I remember early internet content, or maybe it was just like a real TV excerpt of just like a monk guy just like ruthlessly punching himself in his own dick. I don't know if anyone else has joined me on this. Maybe he's like the spiritual successor to that guy.
Yeah, it's pretty wild is all I'm going to say. I'll send you a link to the video, but it might be Patreon only, I'm not sure. because it is very not safe for work. Let's just put it that way. There's a lot of male genitalia in that video, like a lot, like unnecessary amounts is how I'm going to describe it.
Male genitalia doesn't get enough mainstream coverage, I gotta say.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, so listen, Anthony Birdsong, if you are out there, so you're running, if you want to fly me out, there's minutes left to book me to fly to fly.
The last plane from London to Maryland is in
plane.
6 minutes.
You get me out there. I'll cover your event for freedom and for justice. I shouldn't do that in my Red Blacks hat because it does look like I've got particular affiliations.
Bit of a yes, yeah, but it's Ottawa Red Blacks, guys.
Yeah,
and
Ottawa
that's
Red
don't
Blacks.
don't read into that name. Don't read into the red black name. It's just a football team, guys.
The Roughnecks.
Formerly the Rough Riders.
The Rough Riders.
They went with a less controversial name for sure.
Than the Rough Riders, yeah.
Luckily, there's still another team called. Just so everyone knows, there's a minor Canadian football league in Canada, obviously. Actually, although it did expand in the United States briefly, we kicked them out after they immediately won the Grey Cup. Nonetheless, that league is 8. Maybe has been as big as 8 teams. Usually sits at around 7, but for most of its history, included 2 teams named the Rough Riders. One of the most hilarious things I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
What's funny?
One of them an entire province. They just represented the whole province.
Oh, really?
True.
Yeah. Not even a city. Like everybody else was a city, and they're like, we're just gonna do all of us.
Yep.
What is
All Saskatchewan.
What's worse, having 2 teams out of 8 have the same name in a major league sport, or releasing one of the most popular video game franchises of all time without any pathway for people to play that game after?
I like how you just brought it right back to brass tacks there.
I love it.
Hey, how's your totally not addicted to Total War Warhammer 3 Immortal Empires going?
It's so like okay. So what did I do yesterday? Do you know what I did yesterday? I rebuilt the venue. I got an event this weekend. Man, that takes forever. Yeah, there's the flying there, there's the flying back, and then I absolutely do not take into account the rebuilding the venue stage of the event as well, which is also a faff. So I did that yesterday. So no Mortal Empires for me, and then I'm trying to make 2 different tits at the same time. So no Mortal Empires for me.
Trying to handle 3 different titties?
Just 2, just the 2. A 40k one. Yeah, tabletop in 10 minutes. Yeah, tabletop in 10 minutes, Tom. Sorry, I should use the full name, not the acronym. #.
Yeah, you guys won't let me use there's a list of words Rob sent me I'm not allowed to use in the show anymore, and then you can just drop that. I don't think that's fair.
I think that's again, that's fine. Terms and services. I think you're allowed. I might have to say booba, but that doesn't make any sense. That would be the battles on or across the boards around here. It's just not very catchy.
I think you almost nailed that.
Thank you.
Swish that acronym. That was very good. You should be in corporate life. I think you figured it out right there.
Yeah. So the booba. Talking about booba. So we got the Freedom GT, which is hilarious. So 60 people though. I
think if they're just shy of 60 is what they've got signed up.
Oh, we're back to Birdsong's event? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the
yeah.
Well, the kind of follow-up question was going to be talking about ropey decisions. Have you seen the Battlescribe gossip today?
By the way, we have a killer.
The new one, the new stuff today, or from the last week? Because it's been crazy. I love it.
Can I just call out Lil Burn Level, who just said battles under 10 tops? I think, which is awesome.
But
it's a good one.
The good one.
Butts. We need an S. Get us an S in there because it should be butts.
Yeah, an S. Yeah. So the new Battlescribe goss. Did you see the latest post yesterday?
Oh my fuck. Oh wow, his explanation? No, I did not. Or yeah. I saw the preview to his explanation of where he's been for 2 years, collecting everyone's money for nothing. I'd love to see what it actually was. Has that been released? Let's do a live read and react of what Battlescribe guy has been doing for 2 years with your money.
It's Crohn's, isn't it? Yeah, Crohn's.
No, it's lupus. It's always lupus.
It was lupus?
No,
He's got a real reason? Mental health. Oh, wow, this is long.
Okay, I've always been...
Immediately, I got to chill. I don't know if we should do this.
Yeah, this might be bad.
I don't want to do this.
How about I give you the TLDR? How about I give you the TLDR?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Mine's got a downvote. Correct, Tom. Like I've downvoted it because it's like. What happened was. Tom also downvoted it. Good. He's said mental health, and he started drinking too much, which is much easier when you earn 120 grand a year for doing zero work. Like,
Right. So,
Yeah.
okay. So, like many people who suddenly come into a lot of money for not a lot of reason, just developed a substance abuse problem?
according to him, that's his
I can find that.
explanation. Like, I don't. And then he said that's why he was unable to communicate for nearly 3 years, as it was impossible to do so. But he's on the straight and narrow now. I did ask on the Reddit. I was like, with your prodigious income, why don't you hire just someone to? Because he out of
Answer your
120 out of 120k a year, he could pay 30k a year just to be like, because 90k a year is
Just
enough
answer
to
these emails. Yeah.
what?
I said just pay someone 30K a year to just answer these emails that come in, which are probably not even that many emails. Also, I would like to point out that having your gravy train cut off is a very sobering experience,
Yes.
because he responded in 6 hours. So, that's like that. That's like getting dunked into a cold barrel of water by Andre the Giant. You're fucking.
That's pretty serious. Again, not to be disrespectful of people's journeys. If you are having a tough time with mental health, you should reach out. Of course. Yeah, to your friends and family. If not, then just to fucking me. Yeah, just reach out. Yeah, I'll send you several pictures of intern Matt, and it will creep you out, but hopefully it'll make you laugh. Yeah, that's the goal. But yeah, I mean, so that's I don't know if it's tied up in a loop now because a bit of information. I played 40k, inspired by my journeys with you two. I played 40k on Saturday against the wonderful Nikos, and
I don't know how
I
I
played.
inspired you to play 40K, but continue.
Then I played with some knights, some Imperial Knights. The list that we saw being played by anyway, one of the French guys, and then and I tried to write my list on Battlescribe, but I was unable to because I couldn't update my data repository because I think they've disconnected the data repository from Battlescribe.
Whoa, is that a think or is that a Well,
so then I tried to download it. Then I tried to download it on another device. So I downloaded it on another device, and then again I tried to search for repositories, and there are no Warhammer ones connected.
Huh.
Like,
do you think the data devs were like,
no, because you've seen the data dev statement, right, where they've said we're not doing this anymore.
I have, but usually I thought that was all because we're working on an alternative that may or may not come together very quickly.
Project Phalanx, sponsored by Anthony Birdsong.
I hope not.
Pete, what did you think?
I mean, just because I know he's stretched thin. He's got this thing going on. I mean, I don't want him to like. I mean, app development money is big money. We've seen how much Games Workshop spent on it in the past.
Hundreds of pennies.
Hundreds of pounds.
Hundreds of dimes.
Pete? What did you think of the whole debacle?
I mean, it's great. It's exactly what my heart gremlin always wants, right? Like, I just want chaos to reign supreme inside me. And it did. There was I mean, I've talked to a couple of the guys that try to update the data files for Battlescribe, and I've been doing it for years. And I get kind of some firsthand from them about how hard it is to get anything from this guy. So it's been just wonderful to see it all kind of come crashing down in such a brilliant fashion.
Yeah. So yeah, my kind of follow up is I don't know if there's a way to build 40k lists at the minute, and I don't know if in the very short term there's a way to build 40k lists at all. I don't know if Pete, do you know anything about the data repository thing? Am I wrong?
I'd have to go look right now. Oftentimes that data repository thing is just a temporary thing. When they've released an update, there's like a period where it's not available, and you just have to wait like 24 hours, and it'll show back up. So I would check again today, and if it's still not, then yeah, it could be completely fucked again. And if that's the case, there's other ways to build a list. There's like old school stuff like Quartermaster that exist out there that are still being updated and function. Otherwise, you can go back to the old Reese Robbins back of a receipt with a highlighter method and, live your best life.
That works for me.
Doesn't work. Well, I don't do it anymore, so I let all the other boys live that beautiful life.
What, gather all that information in?
Yeah, but manually checking receipts.
Yeah, okay. But wait, so Angle in the chat, Tywin in the chat wants me to point out. I think you can also maybe use the 40k app. Heavy silence. Heavy silence.
Yeah, that was a long pause because the furrow brow is me rapidly trying to onboard the Battlescribe stuff and figure out.
I've never been able to make a list in the 40k app that was the list I wanted to make. So, like, literally never. And I've tried a lot. Like, this wasn't something where I just like haphazardly. Like, I've tried a lot to make lists in that 40k app, and every time there's always something wrong. So.
Okay, so that's and shout out to the Age of Sigmar War Scroll Builder, which we've had since before Games Workshop even did points, which is just free, available on the Games Workshop website, and is always perfect in every way. I get genuinely angry every time I see, like, when I do my Monday show and I see someone has inputted a list using the app. I'm like, no, you bitch! I get furious every time. But anyway. Someone mentioned another app that uses the same files. Anyway, so I don't know what the situation is, because we could really be like, if there's a big, let's say there's a big points updates next week or something. I'm not sure if people can build lists in Battlescribe at the moment. I don't know. I wasn't able to. Maybe that was just my technical non-knowledge.
It could also just be you, right? Because if you still had the old files, you should be able to just fine. You just wouldn't be able to get the new stuff if that was the case. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, or for new users, right? So. Anyway, just something to be conscious of for people at home. But anyway, that's kind of interesting goss and some fun stuff. Which I think brings us to the close of the show. They have to go or like.
I've got nowhere to be. I forgot. I was supposed to go into the hospital when the call started, and I didn't. So we're good.
I mean, that's just a regular Thursday. That's fine. That's good.
That's how that goes. That's how you get
I disappointment and everything, but they never called, so they probably don't. They're not missing me, and my body is a temple, right? There's nothing wrong with it.
Perfect in a way. Okay, I mean that's pretty. Freedom GT, Nova News, and also the Battlescribe Goss is quite a prodigious amount of information, to be honest.
The Battlescribe Goss. So I had a read look see through there. Is it worth commenting on this? Because it's hard to know, because one, you don't want to be frivolous about
mental health,
someone else's mental health and situation, but two, you also don't want to tiptoe around the fact that taking money for 2 years without providing service is grifting, and that was not really addressed in that post.
There was zero addressed in that post, actually,
and there's nothing being addressed in that post that addresses the coincidence that his life turnaround also happens to line up with his money suddenly not appearing in his bank account.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that his struggles are not genuine. As someone who has straight up hidden from things that he doesn't want to deal with for longish periods of time and has fallen on his sword multiple times, I would say adjusting, if you're going to be upfront about something and you want to fall on your sword and address it head on, the biggest issues that I think people have a problem with are not necessarily what your particular situation is, but how are you going to make it right? And this is all about how he's going to make himself right, not how he's necessarily going to make it right for what he was doing for the last 2 years, which is not providing the updates that the subscription service was supposed to be and all that kind of stuff. I'm not particularly hateful on a guy who's done this again. It's $5, whatever. But as far as like it didn't feel like it really hit the nail as far as accountability is concerned, why suddenly now is the time for him to come out and talk about his issues, which happens to coincide with him not making the money anymore.
Well, he has to do this, right? Like it has to be something that everyone has to tiptoe around. This is a lie. Like, I'll say it, like, if no one else will, because I don't give a fuck about this person. Like this is just bullshit. Like, because there was other statements made on his Twitter previously. He's like, actually, for the past 2 years, I've been working on stuff behind the scenes. I've been like, so his earlier tweets, if you take the moment to look at it, and again, I don't want to dog on someone, but like his earlier tweets that he specifically wrote were, I've actually been working on stuff. Hold on. But it has not all been downtime over here. I have been experimenting with and researching new technologies to ensure Battlescribe is future-proofed. This work has been sorely needed for a long time. It's a huge job, and there's still lots to do.
That's clearly bullshit. But I mean, like, yeah.
Yeah. right? So
That's
like,
good
it's
bullshit. But I
just
mean,
all
like,
bullshit.
perhaps this is less bullshit. This might be more of the reason, but also, I think misses the point as to what. No one's going to be mad at this guy if he's having problems in his life. I think it's more like, okay, you have problems in your life, but nonetheless, you continue to take without giving service.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the issue. If you have a problem in your life, I mean, like, that sucks. Like 100%. And I'm going to take him at his word that those things are true. But that's the impact of that on the people he was getting paid by, and the fact that he only decided to deal with those problems the exact moment that he stopped getting paid. That's where my cynicism comes from, and because that's not addressed head on, that's why I'm being cynical about it. And I hope not minimizing what may or may not be this person's actual personal struggle.
Yeah, none of us are. Like, everyone's floating around the issue, right? Like, everyone's everyone's like, we're not minimizing. Like, so it's fine.
This is almost like the 2022 version of, not that there's anything wrong with that. Thank you, Seinfeld.
That's true. Thank you, Jerry Seinfeld, for being a weird creep.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
yeah, all of our comics become weird creeps as they get older. I don't know what it is about being a
Comics-
comic that makes you a weird creep as you get older.
I think they're just that's the human condition, is being a weird creep.
But maybe Matt Berry never became a weird creep. Yet.
Matt Berry.
Matt
No,
Berry!
I mean, it's only I was reading. He's only 48. He's got time.
That's true. Okay. Yeah. Anyway. So I don't think there's any other news to cover, boys. I think we've done all the news. I think that's
We
all.
did it all.
That's what we did it all downtown.
Tom, I just want to call out Tom in the chat had a very good take. I'll let him have that take because that's very true.
Yeah. You can't be. Yeah, he said, I don't think you can be ambivalent about this. Either it's true and we need to support that, or he's trivializing the severe struggles of others as a shield for himself. If you're not sure, though, you have to assume the first. So we all have to assume the first, of course, like, because that's the right way to do it. But whatever. It's just like, it's kind of interesting because I don't know what happens next week if the 40k data guys are just like, no data for you. Like, what does the whole 40k community do? That's what I'm saying.
But when it was looking like it was over, it was also funny because it was kind of like lots of people who know about this have been warning about it for years, including Pete, and it was like the morning I woke up and saw that Battlescribe was gone. I was like, oh shit, it finally happened. And so like, I'm sure one day we'll wake up and there'll be water up to our ankles and be like, fuck, Glacier fell off the continent. We're dead.
Glacier fell off the edge of the earth, as we expected.
Because it's flat. Yeah.
Because it's flat.
Yeah.
So like at that moment, it was like, basically competitive, really even casual 40k ceases to be able to really operate because no one will be able to add all those numbers. Crazy.
Nah, it'll be like it used to be. It'll just be fucked up, and it's always been fucked up. It doesn't matter. Like, who cares?
There you go. Doesn't matter who cares. Great take off.
You think people will still just send it, like, what will people do? Send him, like, it'll all be just Excel or written Word document lists, right?
Yeah, I mean, I when I started doing this shit, like, 5 years ago, that's all it was. Like, it was like 25% Battlescribe, 75%. I got like this broken pencil and some loose leaf and some construction paper, and I'm just gonna origami some shit together. And the TO doesn't read it anyway. He's never seen a point in his fucking life. And we're gonna make this happen. And I mean, come on, Richard Robbins couldn't even use Battlescribe because his phone was so old, and he ran the biggest events in the world, and he was still submitting them on the back of receipts, like at the like. So yeah, like
of a guy outsourcing things he needed other people to handle. That's good. Other people handle that.
I think if Battlescribe like legit super died and this Phalanx thing just didn't happen fast enough, that would be the perfect opportunity for GW to maybe pay somebody to fix the list builder part of their app. It would be like a really good opportunity for them to maybe make some extra money by spending a very small amount to make their list builder actually function properly across the board.
For the record, just food for thought here. I mean, Games Workshop could do that at any time and could have done that at any time, probably since roughly the year 2007, the date at which smartphones started to exist.
Yeah.
Maybe even before that.
They have tried. Like, there was a very brief period where they had a guy like taking questions and trying to resolve issues that TOs found, but that didn't last very long at all. Like that guy went radio silent real quick. So yeah.
Well, so someone's asked, where can you find all up-to-date points for the game? You can absolutely do it in Wikipedia, The Last Bastion. Like
one issue with Wikipedia is that old, that old .ru at the end of it. Always tricky for me. Maybe I just need a burner Wikipedia phone.
Not everyone is responsible for that. If you think about it, not everyone. Oh wait, but yeah, like I can now find out that Castellan Crow is on a 40 mil base and he costs. Oh no. Points. Come on, please. Oh no. Does it not have points?
It does. It's in a weird spot though. It's usually like top right of the data slate, I would say.
Who cares? Just
90
make
points.
up the points.
He's 90 points.
90 points.
90 points. So there you go. So that's easy. So there you go. You can always just go onto the Wikipedia unfortunately rue and
Now, that's a custom URL I could get behind.
Do you want that one instead? Maybe we could make a Wikipedia unfortunately rue like redirect. Like just a redirect that just drags the info in. Yeah?
I like that. I like that a lot.
That makes everything better. Yeah, I don't know what happens. I kind of like. Listen, I just hope like if that just gets sorted and ultimately, I guess maybe improved would be the kind of dream. Is that app gets improved, right? Like I don't know what Pete. Do you know what functionality you would even want extra, or have any thoughts on?
I just want the rules to be correct. If they could make the rules and the points correct, and like make it so you could make the list the way they say you're supposed to, like that would be the bee's knees.
Sorry, I more meant Battlescribe's output.
Oh, Battlescribe. Battlescribe needs to have an output that's not fucking nonsense.
Okay, yeah.
Like it needs list output that's not like 700 pages long, depending on the faction you play.
Like you want like a shortened down version, basically.
Yeah, like
does that come down to like complaining about how the data devs do it, and that's not very cool?
Well, like if we look at what WTC, like the kind of standardized for lists, it's such a cleaner, crisper way to do things, and someone should be able to figure out how to spit that out in an app. So.
Okay, that seems fair. I'd like. Okay. All right, good. All right, well, boys. Thanks for today. You got any shout outs?
Shout out Capybara Spa. It's the greatest game you can buy now on PC. I highly recommend it.
What is it?
It's a game where you run a spa for capybaras, the cutest and greatest animal in the world.
Amazing.
And it's $9, just $9 Canadian, so like 45 cents to literally anybody else. Hook that right into my veins. Just that's the best thing. Nothing else matters anymore except for Capybara Spa.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. I haven't played that. I know that isn't there some sort of like goat? No, not goat game. Maybe it's that one.
Well, there's Goat Simulator.
Yeah, there's that. That's not the one I mean. All right. Okay. Val, what about you, baby?
Shout out to the new Thursday show. I think that this is the ideal Thursday show. Probably the best Thursday show that's ever been. And smart enough not to name itself the Thursday show.
Well, at least you know when the Thursday show is.
That is one good thing about the Thursday show.
Like you know when it is. That helps. That helps.
It's useful. But do you know if you're interested in it or not? I don't know.
But that's true. That's true. I'd like to shout out to Small Ears Dickie in the chat. Massive love.
Small Ears Dickie.
Yeah, big love to him. He's my shout out for today. So loads of love to him.
Thanks
everyone for tuning in. Love you loads. Stay hydrated if you listen to us a podcast. Take care of yourselves and see you soon. Goodbye.